Hello Internet, I'm Tokoselchu, and you are listening to a Dawn of War 2 shoutcast. Joining me today is Kibbles.
Hello.
Hello Kibbles. You may know him from his recent audio interview with that guy from Relic, I think his name is Josh. And today, hopefully, I will be doing the interviewing. We don't want Kibbles asking me questions. I don't have any answers. We are paused at 5 seconds in this game between Kibbles, who is playing his Kinderparty, and GragGroc?
That's my guess. I couldn't tell.
It's a mystery. I guess I will watch from GragGroc's perspective, because I think you can probably watch from your own perspective. And we're paused at 5 seconds. You ready to go?
Yep, good to go.
Alright, let's go ahead and unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yes, you are playing as an apothecary, your opponent as a Warp Spider. So I guess right off the bat you knew you were facing Eldar. Does that mean anything? Do you do anything different when you know you're facing Eldar versus any other race?
As far as build order, not necessarily, but I do know that the power axe is going to be a must, just to keep all their heroes in check, because their energy is really dependent.
Seems like the Warp Spider might not need energy so much, I mean for jumping around, right? But other than that, not super important.
Yeah, but you'd think that wasn't a big deal. When he keeps jumping around, and it really puts a mind game in perspective that you don't have with another race. And I do use a double Devastator build, so him jumping around and messing up all of my Devastators is a big deal.
And yeah, we see Howling Banshees right off the bat from the Eldar, so he's not going quite as shooty as possible, and you've got a couple scouts, so hopefully we'll see the Eldar try to engage you in melee, where he is going to win.
Yeah, I would also like to put out that ideally the Mastercrafted Bolter would be really good against knocking down the Warp Spider, but it's also really buggy, so I tend to avoid.
Mastercrafted Bolter, the thing that has like the knockdown ability, I believe. You just target someone with it and he'll knock down a squad.
Correct.
Or a swath of area.
Single target, so it's not like a war boss where you kind of get the spray. You just have to pick one target, but sometimes it stops early, sometimes it doesn't start at all. Usually always takes your energy and kind of leaves you.
Yeah, and so we have first engagement does not go very well for you. Looks like a scout goes down to a fire from the Warp Spider and the, what are those, Guardians, so you had to retreat pretty early.
Yeah, the Warp Spider is especially devastating in this matchup because the Apothecary is already low health, and he doesn't have any way of engaging melee early on. The scouts obviously are very low.
And also just point out to everybody, Kibbles has bought 3 generators right off the bat to the Eldar too, so if you look at the power income, it's plus 54 versus plus 44, and the longer that keeps going, the more Kibbles is going to be able to out-tech, although it looks like your Devastators are being pushed off right now by this Warp Spider.
Yeah, thankfully the Apothecary is really good at what I call extending the play, so when I get him up I know that the Devastator will be able to hang around, and I also notice that he's out of energy, so I'm not afraid to engage.
Yeah, I find that to be probably the most annoying thing about facing the Apothecary. No matter how much damage I do to one of those stupid Space Marine squads, that guy just shows up and it's like, bloop, they're back in the fight for another 20 minutes, and since they all have so much health in the first place, there's not much I can do about it.
Oh yes, and his globals also are especially powerful in the play alive, where you can res your own Apothecary if he goes down for a nominal fee, and you've got Angels of Death, which is just
or as I like to say, bullshit, and we saw a really nice setup from your Devastator squad, caught that Suppression platform while it was busy dealing with the scouts, although it looks like now your Apothecary down in the middle of that fight.
Yeah, it's two ways. I'm originally a Force Commander player, so I kind of get used to him being able to stay around for a while, but I also wanted to see if he could keep his platform in play and I could get it good.
Yeah, it looks like the Eldar player definitely miscalculated there, lost his platform. He had you suppressed, but it wasn't quite enough suppression to keep you from firing, and now he's kind of paid for it. Although, nice move there, he jumped in to melee your Devastator squad with his Warp Spider, so saved you from, or saved the Howling Banshees.
The double Devastator covering is amazing, but as you can see, yeah, right there, the Warp Spider can just keep moving.
Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest way to deal with suppression in Dawn of War 2. I saw a thread on the forums recently, someone talking about there's really not so much flanking in Dawn of War 2 compared to Company of Heroes. The maps are smaller, and you rely more on like jump abilities and disruption abilities to get with suppression platforms.
Yeah, it's kind of pick your own poison there, because either one is going to get the job done, but I personally like the jumping in Dawn of War 2. I think it's a little bit more interesting.
And so at 4 minutes 35, 36, 37, 38, we have very interestingly another 2 generators built by the Eldar player on the upper right power, and we have a grenade off on the suppression platform, you notice.
Yeah, I was a
I'm
little
not sure.
perplexed by the early... I wasn't sure what he was going to do at all.
Yeah, I can't, like, I'm perplexed too. It's quite a bit of power, and it seems like it's going to be way too easy for you to harass it, especially because you've just pushed off his suppression platform, which is the big thing for protecting your stuff on a small map like this. Or a big map, I guess even more important on a big map.
So I guess he thought maybe without the flamer I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite possible. Flamer, very helpful for power harassment. He is going to tier 2 though, so moderately quick tier 2. Basically only spent power on aspect of the Banshee, and no other power spent as far as I can tell. So yeah, with
spiders as soon as I saw.
Yeah, with his aspect of the Banshee, he managed to suppress your dev squad, and it looks like if they don't retreat soon, they're gonna get owned. One of them dead already, 2 of them dead, so that was not very good.
That was a clever move, him using the terrain to shield himself from the fire. I thought they would be safe, but I underestimated him a little.
Yeah, those Howling Banshees, if you're not quite fast enough, they can get in and rip you apart. They're fragile, but of course the Devastators aren't going to do much in melee to them. And we see that you do have the Anointed Power Axe up on your Apothecary, so... but that just sucks energy?
Yes, and they just fixed it in the last patch to where the unit doesn't have any.
Oof, you just rickrolled that Howling Banshee squad. 2 scouts with shotguns, apparently enough damage to Howling Banshees to kill them, especially with the knockback ability, the suppression knockback. That's pretty much the best thing the scouts can do.
He also forgot about another suppression platform on top, so I ended up picking both the Banshees and the platform while he was trying to knock out both.
Although we do have Warp Spiders out, you were right. You smelled the correct smell, I believe. So I notice you have both, sergeants and shotguns on your scouts. Shotguns, I think most people will agree, are a necessity, but do you find sergeants super helpful in all your scouts, or is it a sometimes thing, or almost always?
I usually go to 3 scouts, but I couldn't afford it in this matchup. He was pressuring me with his bottom position, and I was falling behind the tech, but usually always sergeants, just because there's so much survivability involved in synergy with the shotguns and grenades. It's involved.
Do you ever buy a cloak for your scouts, or is 2 enough? 2 upgrades for scout.
Infiltration
shotgun.
just seems pretty silly. I've never really found a use for it. I'm kind of more of a head-on guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed infiltration because, you know, it lets you get your grenade off, but it just seems like I'm sinking too much power into the scouts, and once I've bought grenades and obviously shotguns, I feel like it's a bit too much to also load up on the infiltration. Oof, look at these Warp Spiders.
Here that these Warp Spiders are surprisingly tanky. Like, I thought that grenade was gonna wipe them, but tough.
Now, luckily for him, he only lost 1 of them in the squad, so the rest will take a while to heal up, but, an interesting choice by him using his Warp Spider to capture that requisition point on the bottom left. You would think he would try and nab his power back, because right now you're getting plus 74 power off of 2 of the generators he built, so, I always feel incredible angst whenever someone has stolen my generators. I want those back as soon as possible.